If you've been considering EDCing a fixed blade, this one's for you. If you ever stopped yourself from EDCing a fixed blade because you didn't want to look like Crocodile Dundee, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Welcome back. Rochambeau here. Today I want to talk to you about how you can EDC a fixed blade and not look like Crocodile Dundee. Let's face it, fixed blades are just cool. Ever since I was knee-high to a gas pump, I loved knives and swords and all of that I saw on TV. But here's the problem. You can't just put a 12-inch Bowie blade on your hip and then walk into Home Depot and not expect somebody to go,
"He's got a knife."
The optics matter. And they matter for a reason. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where people are just afraid of everything. They have no reason to trust a stranger with a large knife on their belt that could be used as a weapon. To escape the criticizing eyes of the Karens of the world, most people that carry a knife are going to carry this. They're going to carry a folding pocket knife. That being said, there's many reasons why you would rather carry a fixed blade instead of a pocket knife like this. One of which being that no matter how quick hands you have, your fastest draw in the West, you still cannot pull out a pocket knife and deploy it faster than you can with a fixed blade. You take a fixed blade out of the sheath, it's revved and ready to go. There's no extra step of flicking the knife open. You know, like if you're just opening an Amazon package, maybe that's not useful to you. If you find yourself in a serious situation that requires as little dexterity as possible and the adrenaline's pumping, your car just went over a bridge and you need to cut the seatbelt so you can get out and not drown in the lake. Having something that's easy to pull out could be useful. That's an extreme example. Sometimes it's just good to have a tool that you don't have to think about deploying. Any extra steps in a survival situation could be fatal. More to the point, a folding knife like this has a locking mechanism. This is a Spyderco Para 3. It is one of my favorite folding knives to EDC, and it has one of the best locking systems that money can buy. It's got a compression lock. It can take an enormous amount of pressure before it fails. But believe you me, any locking system out there can and will fail under certain circumstances. You know what doesn't fail? Something without a locking mechanism. A fixed blade. If you want to conceal carry a knife, first and foremost, check your local knife laws. I'm not an expert on your area. I live in the Colorado area. Here, we can conceal carry a fixed blade as long as the blade itself is no longer than 3.5 inches. Which is fine, because if you've ever tried to conceal carry a knife with a blade longer than that, it doesn't matter what the knife laws are, it's just going to be damn hard to conceal. What do you need to do to successfully conceal carry a knife? Step 1 is choosing the right belt. Let's be honest, when I said belt, you probably thought about this. This is your garden variety leather strap belt. There's nothing wrong with this belt. This is a very serviceable belt. It's common for a reason. However, the belt you should be thinking about is this one. This is a strap belt. This belt is going to lay flatter against your body, which means that there is going to be less knife sticking out depending upon where you decide to conceal it. Flatter is better. You don't want it to stick out. If you want it to stick out as little as possible, I highly suggest a strap belt. Again, you can definitely use a regular leather strap belt. Just be cognizant of the fact that you want it to be as thin as possible. The thicker your belt, the smaller the footprint your knife needs to have to make up for that difference. So thinner is definitely better. If you do decide to use a belt like this, you're going to need to choose the right knife. Speaking of which, point number 2, choosing the right knife. Did I mention you need to check your local knife laws? You should probably do this before you choose your fixed blade. That being said, I'm going to assume, again, that you've already done that. Here in Colorado, you can conceal carry a fixed blade as long as the blade itself is no longer than 3.5 inches. I present to you the Giant Mouse Knives GMF3. This is an excellent knife to conceal carry. It's got over a 3-inch blade, but it's less than 3.5 inches, and it conceals really nicely. The handle is short, and I really suggest that whatever fixed blade you decide to conceal carry has a short handle, because the blade is going to be in the sheath. The sheath is probably going to be lying flat against your body. It's the handle that's going to stick out. Let me give you an example of a knife that, while it would fit my local knife laws, is not easily concealable. This is one of my favorite knives. This is a Skyraider Banshee. This is also under 3.5 inches, but look at this handle. That handle is an awkward shape. It fits well in the hand. The retention ring on the back is really good for getting a nice grip, and you can grip it in a lot of different ways. But because of its geometry and because of the length of the handle, it's just not as easy to carry as something like this Giant Mouse Knives. Look at the length of the blade. The blade lengths are almost identical. However, there's easily an extra inch on this handle for the Skyraider Banshee. And by the way, stay tuned for the future because I will be doing a review on this. One of my favorite fixed blades. Really, really a cool knife. Choosing the right blade matters. For me, this is the right blade. You might be thinking, well, with a short handle like that, how do you get a good grip? Add a lanyard. I can only get 3 fingers on this grip as it is. Having that lanyard there allows me to get a little bit of extra purchase on the blade, and it also makes pulling it out of the sheath a lot easier. Speaking of which, here's that same knife in the sheath. See how little handle I have sticking out there? That means that this is going to have the best opportunity of laying flat against my waist as possible. So, you've picked the right knife. You've picked the right belt. What else do you need to consider? Well, you should probably also consider choosing the right clothing. Sports shorts, unfortunately, are not the right choice for carrying a fixed blade. You can't put a belt on sports shorts, on basketball shorts, anyways. So, unless you're planning on putting your fixed blade in your pocket, which is just, honestly, I think it's kind of dumb. No sports shorts. You can wear cargo shorts, anything with a belt loop. The belt is really key here because it helps secure the blade to you and it helps make it accessible. So anything with a belt loop. And lastly, the thing that you should consider, and this is possibly one of the most important things to consider, is the carry position. You'll notice on this example, this has a belt loop. Anything that sticks down is likely to stick down underneath your shirt. Also, it's not something that's really easy to move around in. Being flexible, being able to move naturally is part of concealing it. Because if you are avoiding certain movements, or if you do one movement and the knife sticks out underneath your shirt at an awkward angle, people will notice, and you'll be self-conscious. So the right carry position really makes a difference, which is why my recommended carry, as far as position goes, is going to be horizontal. Now, I just showed you the belt loop on here, but you'll notice that there's a bit of paracord sticking out from the grommets on this sheath. The stock Giant Mouse Knives sheath does not really have a horizontal carry option. There's plenty of fixed blades out there that do. If you have a knife like this that doesn't, you can do what I did. You can take some paracord and create your own horizontal carry option. I can just slip the belt in through here and out through here, and it's going to sit flat and be secured on my belt. So, horizontal carry. The two most popular types of horizontal carry is, one, the appendix carry. The appendix carry is going to have this knife sitting right on your appendix. That's an excellent place to put it because you can bend forward without really losing any mobility. You can sit down without having to worry about sitting on it. And you can move side to side. You can drive in your car. You can sit at your desk. You can walk around. You could even run with this in appendix carry. The other is the opposite of appendix carry, which is scout carry. That's where you have it at the same position, but it's at the small of your back. I don't actually prefer that one because I work at a job where I sit a lot. If it's scout carry and you're sitting, chances are your shirt's going to pop up and then it'll be visible, or you'll lean back and you'll feel it. It's harder to wear unless you have your pants up Urkel style. It's hard to have like that and then also go and drive a car. You still get the side to side mobility, and you still get, the ability to walk and run. But anytime that you're going to be sitting throughout your day, I don't suggest scout carry. And the last reason why I wouldn't suggest scout carry is because if you do need that knife in a hurry, you have to do this awkward motion where you put your arm behind your back and then pull out the knife. And then you also can't see when you go to put it back, which means there's a lot of awkward fumbling, and then people are looking at you, and you've kind of defeated the purpose of having a concealed carry. So I'm going to show you in this next couple clips some examples of using this knife in appendix carry. Check it out. So yeah, obviously, when you decide to carry a fixed blade, that's a decision that you have to commit to. It takes a little more forethought rather than just taking a folding knife and putting it in your pocket. But I really do believe that there's a lot of benefits to carrying a fixed blade. None of which being the fact that it does give you a bit more confidence. Someone pulls out a pocket knife and you pull out your fixed blade and you can say,
"That's not a knife. That's a knife."
But I digress. If you found this video useful, give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you didn't find it useful, let me know in the comment section down below. If you don't tell me, I don't know. And also comment based on what you want to see me talk about next. We'll see you next time.